Hello, everybody. It's Larry the GM, and we are going to break down Game 5 by the numbers the Larry the GM way. We will look at the expected WOBA breakdown between these two teams. Before I get into it, though, please, guys, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Please comment on the video. That will help the algorithms and get more support for the YouTube channel. And if you have not subscribed to the Larry the GM website, please do so there. And then also take the opportunity to join the Patreon group, because the data I'm about to show you is this kind of data the patrons have gotten for multiple games. And today I'm putting it out. I put it out for game 3 and game 4 right before game time. Today I'm putting it out earlier so that everybody can see it and we can actually have this conversation an hour before game time. So there's all the advertisements. So again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the website, and join the Patreon group. Those are the things you can do to help. Thanks, guys, with that. So let's go. ALCS Game 5 by the numbers. This video will be embedded in the article. You can watch it there or refer if you need to refer back to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Astros hitters versus Montgomery, the starting pitcher, and we're going to look at the Rangers hitters versus Verlander, our starting pitcher. Then we're going to look at the pitching staffs, who needs rest, who's available, and who's probably not available for the game. So that all that being done. All right, so here we go. The Astros versus Jordan Montgomery, and this is today's lineup: is Altuve, Dubon, Bregman, Alvarez, Abreu, Tucker. Again, they're keeping the lefties separated because of all the lefties in the Rangers bullpen. So they can keep it that way. Abreu can do exactly what he did last night. If Abreu's facing the lefty, it's a very favorable for him. And so you can see Chas McCormick after Tucker, Pena, Maldonado. Now here's the thing. Look at this lineup. They are very, very pinkish and red. That's good. The entire lineup of that. Really, a major quirk is, now, if you guys remember game 1, Alvarez didn't look good, and I kept saying, well, this is a terrible matchup for him. Alvarez is a 315 expected WOBA versus Montgomery. That is like one of the lowest I've ever seen for Jordan Alvarez. Just the matchup and what Jordan Montgomery throws versus Jordan Alvarez is just not a great match. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out tonight. I mean, Jordan may get him just because he's Jordan Alvarez, but don't be surprised if the power comes more from the Chas McCormick part of the lineup and not as much from Jordan Alvarez. So you see Chas McCormick here is the bright red. The additional column here for folks who have been tracking this data, I added the column of what these players have done in the postseason so far. And it's too small of a sample size really to base too much off of it, but we are getting enough that this would be kind of reaching where generally would be my minimum thresholds for considering use of the data. So you can see, we've got Dubon at the top of the lineup. He's been, of course, very, very hot with Alvarez and Abreu as well. So you can see who's been hot. You can see how they should match up, and you can see how that plays in the lineup. To me, guys, this is an 8.5, maybe even a 9 lineup for the Astros. This is really good. The only reason it doesn't score, like much better, there's nothing I'm looking at this lineup and saying, man, we're failing to put this guy in the lineup. That there's no like, I'm going to subtract 2 off from my score because we're betting Maldi versus a right-handed pitcher. We got a left-handed pitcher, as you can see, Maldonado, very good, 343. Although he's had a rough, rough playoff so far, but hey, a 343 expected WOBA for Martin Maldonado versus Montgomery is good, and so I have no problems with the choices made. The reason I didn't score any higher is Montgomery's just that good, and so this 335 is above average. but it's projected to be 5.1 runs per game. I mean, that's good. That's just not like some of the other numbers we've had in the series for the Rangers are have in specific, and a couple of the Astros against some of the pitchers in the series are significantly higher than that. So let's look at the Rangers. The Rangers versus Verlander, even a little better score for the Astros the Astros in this case. For the Rangers scored a little bit lower, 326 versus 335. And the Rangers made some tweaks with their lineup today. They moved Leota Taveras all the way to the 5-hole. To be quite transparent with you guys, I think that's a little bit of a panic. I mean, you see why he's been doing really, really good so far this postseason. But it's not a matter of he's a really good matchup versus Verlander. So I'm not so sure. We'll see how that plays out. Not too sure, but there's quite a bit of blue because you're going against Justin Verlander, and so the bottom of the lineup may have some challenges versus Verlander, and it's really the question will be, can Verlander get past Seager and past Carter and past Garcia? Are the main players he's got the challenge with tonight. So there's your pitching matchup versus the Astros, Verlander versus the Rangers. So if you guys have questions, that I'm going to keep moving and you ask your questions in the chat, and I'll appreciate any questions you have. So this is actually a game where the Astros have a pitching starting pitching advantage. That has not been true most of the games in the series, but it has been true in Game 1 and Game 5. It was true last night. So status of pitching stats. So this is data that I did quite a bit last year when we got into some long series, and I'll keep tracking this for the rest of this series. And if we get to the World Series, we'll have that as well. But what I do here is I put in the number of pitches that pitcher pitched that night, and then I scale it back. So essentially, I subtract the number of pitches off his arm. As you can see, this for Verlander, 101 on Game 1. Then I subtract 25, subtract 25, down to 26, down to 1, and then he's fully rested. He would have been able to go on 3 days rest, but that's what the scale is. Really, don't worry about the calculation. Just worry about the colors. So obviously, a pitcher that's red is not available because that's not a good use for his arm. And so you're looking for pitchers that are green, and those are the pitchers that are available. But then I went through the pitchers that would not be available, and you can see why. Now, some of these are more judgment calls. I mean, if they had to go to Phil Maton, they probably could for a pitch batter or two. But he pitched 27 pitches last night. Probably don't want to do that. So the Astros really are kind of on Verlander. If they have to, they'll go to France, or they could go to Montero, or they could go to Blanco for a long relief. And then they've got Ryan Stanek, Hector Neris, Brian Abreu, and Ryan Presley all available because those last three did not pitch last night at all. So good situation for the Astros. The Rangers have so they're basically there's 4 players for the Astros I don't think are available. Obviously, Javier, who pitched 2 days ago, and Urquidy, who pitched, I guess Urquidy pitched 2 days ago, and Javier pitched Game 3. So they're not available. No, Urquidy pitched last night. When am I saying? Sorry about that, guys. So you've got starting pitchers Game 3 and Game 4. And then you've got Hunter Brown, who pitched quite a bit last night, and Phil Maton, who pitched quite a bit last night. The Rangers, I believe, have 6 pitchers that aren't available tonight. Obviously, Max Scherzer, who started Game 3. Dane Dunning, who pitched the bulk of the game like I expected him to, although he came in the first inning. He pitched 63 pitches last night. He's not available. And then they burned through a lot of their long relievers. Corey Bradford, Andrew Haney, who started, and Martin Perez all pitched last night. Cody Bradford has pitched in Game 3 and Game 4. I don't think he's available. I don't think Martin Perez is available, pitching in Game 3 and Game 4. John Gray, is probably available. I'm not sure how quickly he's used to bouncing back. He's been mainly a starting pitcher for them. Then they use Will Smith again for the second straight day, and they use Chris Stratton for the second straight day. So basically, I believe the Rangers are looking at a situation where they got Montgomery, they got Gray, and they've got the 3 premium relievers. And so that's the situation. And I think that is a hidden that is in essence an element that would lead me to make the prediction I'm making about tonight's game. So if the Astros are even able to get to any runs on Montgomery, or even just get him out of the game in the 5th or 4th or 5th inning, I think the Rangers have got a real challenge. John Gray could be their answer for that, but they don't. The Rangers probably cannot get into an extra innings game because they've used those pitchers for 2 straight nights. I guess they could ask Haney in a pinch to pitch, and they could go back to Evaldi on 3 days rest if they got into a long late inning game and had no other options. But the point of all that discussion, guys, is the Rangers have about 6 pitchers they really can't use tonight, and I think that's a big advantage for the Astros. So there you go. That's that. And so what I will say, guys, is I think the Astros are going to win tonight. And it's how amazing is this to go lose 2 at home, then go potentially win. We won 2, even winning the 2 games we've won in Arlington. But that's kind of the way the season's gone. Be bad at home and great on the road. But so there you go. That's the way I see the matchup. I think the Astros will win. This article, if you want to go through for betting purposes, you should focus on this column right here, the projected wOBAs for for the matchup tonight. And there you go. If there's any questions, last call for questions, and we will let you get to watching this and go to the game, watch the game. We'll see you guys in the Twitter space, or we'll hear from you guys in Twitter space. I'll be there at game time. So look forward to that. So guys, have a good day, and let's go Astros. Thanks for watching. And again, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the website, and subscribe to the Patreon group as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.